Hey, what's going on, InsideOut Institute? So this is the third financial video, and I'm not really going in any specific order. And the reason I laugh is because I know a lot of people like, these are the 7 points to financial freedom. I don't believe any of that. I don't believe there's 7 points or 5 points or 12 points to financial freedom. I feel there's a lot of different points, so I'm just kind of making these videos, and I think that's more genuine of me instead of trying to be a salesman. Even though I did, the 12 ways to kick your own ass and win. I mean, that's a book and it's published and obviously needs to be sold. But I definitely want to unpackage this a little bit with you versus your finances. But today is going to be kind of the fundamental. I'm not saying it's boring, but it's just stuff that maybe you haven't learned, and it's definitely economics 101. So I want to talk about LLCs and SCorps and living trusts and attorneys. And I know sometimes it's like, oh, you're not like so excited about hearing this. Now, again, I'm none of these. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a CPA. So all I can do is share from my own experience of what I did. And just by interviewing a lot of you from InsideOut Institute and asking questions and you replying back to texts and stuff like that, what I've noticed is a lot of people within this institute don't have an LLC, okay, or an SCorp. And there's a big difference between an SCorp and an LLC. LLCs I like better because it just works better for what we do as far as an energy healer or a coach. Also, if you have partners that are getting percentages of profit sharing and also percentage of the business. And again, they're easy to sell too. An LLC is very easy to sell. But what I would do is check with your CPA. And I think the first rule of thumb in really creating financial freedom for yourself is you got to recruit a good CPA. Do not go to what the average person goes to. So again, think about this. The average person goes to H&R Block. If there's a commercial about it, don't do it. Okay, just think about that. The masses go to corporate H&R Block, whatever. You need a good CPA that knows entrepreneurship, that knows network marketing, that knows coaching. I'm not saying they need to know how to coach or anything like that. All I'm saying is they know like PayPal and Stripe and different portals that you're getting paid on as that leader. And, if you're setting up 1099s, et cetera, to people. So I would just implore you, really do your research on this, just like you're dating. I'm not saying you want to get into a great relationship with a CPA. You don't have to agree with everything that they say, but they have to be up and up, they have to be ethical, and they have got to be in the game for a while so that and you got to like them too, because you're going to do a lot of business not with them, but you're going to do business with them because you got to pay them. But they need to know like writing off certain things, especially the new laws in place, post-Trump and pre-Trump and all that stuff, or after Trump happened. But while Trump was in office, a lot of things changed some of it's good, some of it was not so good. So they need to know like the home stuff and your home write-off and how much can you write off, and the gas in your car and your mileage and food and going out to restaurants. A lot of that kind of shifted in some of the new laws, which actually works in the favor of the entrepreneurs. That's why I never understood, just on a personal note, even if you're a W-2, now I'm talking to the choir here, but just on the outside world, someone's a W-2, they're going to get taxed 50% of their income. So if I make $100,000 a year, I'm only going to take in $50,000 to $60,000 take home. That means I work from January 1st to the end of May for free. If I'm a W-2. Now, if you're a W-2, it's okay. I'm not making fun of you or anything like that or making you feel bad, but you got to understand what college is teaching these people. And it's a scam. A lot of people are like, well, I don't want to be scammed, but they have like every degree. I'm not saying college in general is a scam, but I will say that people like Elon Musk have said that. A lot of people that are high up there have said college is a scam. And I believe it is if your major is business. I believe you don't need college. I believe there's so much education out there to be a great businessman and a woman, just like I'm giving you now is some education here. But of course, if you're going to be a nurse, if you're going to be a doctor, you have to go. I mean, you can't avoid a lawyer. You have to go to college. So I'm not saying I believe 100% is a scam, but I do believe parts of it are really, it's just not true. You don't need a degree to be a millionaire. You don't need a degree to make 6 figures a year. In fact, I've been making 6 figures as a college dropout since I was mid-20s. Every year consistently for almost 20 years. So I dropped out of college, okay? And I was actually making more in college than most people make now. A couple $1,000s a week while I was in college, selling, being in sales. But again, that's my skill set. I make a lot of money because I'm good at sales. And I'm good at selling myself. I'm good at communication, but I had to learn that skill. And that's a whole different topic on how to get rich. Is you have to own a skill or have to develop a certain skill set of communication in order for you to be successful. But anyway, so going back to your CPA, you have to really learn that, you need to kind of assemble a team, a dream team, if you will, of a CPA and eventually an attorney, a contract attorney, or someone that, I'm not saying now because a lot of you might not have the money for that, but that's why you need to earn money and you need to get rich and you need to want to get rich because you have a team of people that really will have your back and help you, keep what you're actually making as opposed to a W-2. Now, on the flip note of that, if you are a W-2 and if you join IOI, now you have a lot of write-offs because now you do work from home. And then if you join a network marketing company, that's just going to add to it. A 1099, you're getting the tax, breaks and stuff like that. So it's important that you know that. In fact, somebody called me the other day who is no longer an InsideOut Institute, and which is fine. She was a partner back in the day. And she called me and asked me for the admin's phone number. And I gave it to her and she's like, yeah, I'm with my accountant. And he says that whatever I put into InsideOut Institute, I get to write off on my taxes. I'm like, exactly. That's what I told you, because that's a selling point. If someone pays $5,500, not only are they getting the 12 weeks of coaching and energy healing, but they're also getting the tax break. So what that means is, if they didn't do InsideOut Institute, they would have to pay $5,500 more in their taxes as opposed to they didn't do it. So might as well give yourself that money, invest in yourself as opposed to the government, the money. Okay, so just, again, this is how the rich think. Again, you versus your finances. It's time to wake up, become an entrepreneur-minded person and not a poverty-minded person or entitled. And I'm not saying any of you are, but I think we all have, those characteristics depending on how we grew up. Now, okay, so when you have a CPA, you're going to ask them to look at your business, and they're going to help you create an LLC, limited liability corporation, or an SCorp. Now, depending on their own advice, when they look into how you collect monies, I would say go with their advice, but you definitely need one or the other. Now, I've had an LLC since 2018. I've had an SCorp prior to that. Like I said, I'm a fan of LLCs, and in fact, it's actually doing a lot of good in my life now based on the EID alone, buying e-commerce businesses like Walmart, Amazon. I can still do that even if I don't have an LLC, but I'm buying assets in my LLC. And you can always have 2 LLCs, 3 LLCs. You don't only have to have one. You can have multiple LLCs in your life. You can also establish a nonprofit and buy e-commerce and stuff like that. There's a lot of things you can do. So I just want you to start talking like you're rich and start, learning what these mean. And I would say just Google them, SCorp, LLC. I don't want to give advice on exactly, all I can say from my own experience is I had a CPA who told me I needed one. They walked me through the process and they did it for me, and I paid them for their service. And you're going to have to do that. And there's nothing wrong with paying for that kind of service because that's going to serve you so that you're not railed in taxes 40 to 50% by being a sole proprietor or not even doing this. And again, taxes, okay, let's just talk about that. We live in America and we're highly taxed, and especially even now with Biden as president. So 40% to 50% in the tax bracket if you do not have a lot of write-offs. So the best thing that you could do is create write-offs so that you can write off things. And again, understand what you can write off. So gas, mileage, a certain amount of it, your house, gas, cell phone, even food, going out to dinner, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Starbucks, coffee, meetings, airplane rides, travel expenses, hotel expenses. For me, I could even write off going to the dentist, because I'm an influencer, so I have to look good. Going to the gym, my gym membership, getting haircuts because I have to look good. I have to present a certain image. Okay. I mean, there's borderline things that you can't do, but you can get away with some of this stuff too, especially if you're an influencer on social media, etc. So again, I don't want to put too many ideas in your head, but there's a lot out there legally and ethically that you can write off. Now, what I'd like to also say is you do not want to buy anything in the future in your own name. Okay, very simple. If you have a personal credit card, cool. Learn to get a business credit card. So part of getting an SCorp or LLC is you get an EIN. So an EIN is basically a Dun & Bradstreet number like a FICO score, and like we all have a FICO score, TransUnion, Experian, Expedia, all that stuff, not Expedia, but Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, whatever, you get them. So by Experian though, that's the one that really a lot of lenders look at. So that's really your FICO score, and check your FICO score. You need to see your credit health. I will also recommend, at no cost to you, but here's a referral. Go to creditsaint.com. So if your credit score is low or it needs help, my huge endorsement is creditsaint.com. It is cheap, it is amazing, and they will work with you right away. So go to creditsaint.com, get a consultation, and it's right over the phone, and they'll check all your scores, especially Experian, and then they will offer you about 3 packages, and the highest one is like $120 a month, and that's for aggressive credit repair. And I'm telling you, it is worth every dime that you spend. And if someone says, well, that's expensive, they will always be broke. I'm telling you, even if your credit score is 700, do it, because it can go to 750 in 45 days. So they work in 45-day cycles. And I'm telling you, it is going to change your life, and it's going to give you more credit, and you can leverage credit like other people's money. You can buy assets with other people's money, never using your own money. And that's what rich people do. Poor people use their own money to buy things or put it on credit, and then they go broke. Rich people create assets, they create cash flow, but they're putting it on other people's money because they have good credit and they have good credit lines, and then they're pretty much becoming a piggy bank through their credit by getting money and using credit to build assets instead of liabilities. A poor person, the first time they get a good paycheck, oh man, I'm going to get that Corvette, or I'm going to go get a loan for a car, or I'm going to buy that dream house for my girl and my kids. And the problem is now they're stuck in the rat race. Now they have to work for their money, and it's a linear income, as opposed to live in that townhouse for one more year, drive that crappy car, take the money you're earning and buy assets that spit cash flow to build your LLC EIN, and you could eventually buy a house in your LLC and not in your personal name, and put a living trust on it as well, so no one can take that away from you, even if you're sued in your business. Personal, the government can take money from you. If you put, I'm not saying they would, and you would have to do something that you owe the government. But a lot of times the IRS, child support, stuff like that, they could just go and take money from you without you knowing. They might send a letter, but you might not get the letter. And if it's an LLC, it's a lot harder to actually get a hold of that. Does that make sense? So again, you're protecting yourself. And again, I'm not saying you have to deal with that. Hopefully you're in the up and up with that. But I know I have had to in the past, long story. But, I guess anytime you get divorced and you make a lot of money and child support, all this stuff, it's always kind of a battle that I think a lot of us can relate to. Okay, so with that said, what's some last couple things I want to share with you? So if you don't have this, go get it, go look into it. Stop taking money from PayPal and cash apps that are just going to your personal checking account, because Uncle Sam's taking half of that at the end of this year or next year, and you're in for a rude awakening. So I'm trying to save you and help you, because I want you to make a ton of money as a healer, as a coach, as an entrepreneur. We didn't start this institute for, just for linear income. So we're not here just to, help you just get some clients and that's it. We want to teach you beyond that. We want to teach you really how to develop other leaders around the world. And we want to go way, way beyond that. That's why we offer Zealous, and that's why we offer e-commerce, and that's why we offer opportunities and connections with my own, connections that I want to give to you guys, taking advantage of COVID. There's some loans out there, some programs like the EIDL loan that can literally change your life, and you get $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, with some of the people that I'm in contact with, and then not have to pay that at all until 18 months from now, and your first payment is due 18 months from now. So you have plenty, and you have a year and a half to go research and buy assets that spit cash flow at you using other people's money, the government, and actually leveraging it in a positive way instead of always complaining you're paying the government in taxes. So there are programs like that, of course, the PPP loan, and that's a little bit different. That's based on gross, and you're getting about 45% of your gross there. And I've got that for my 2019 and 2020, but that's nothing like the EIDL loan. Okay, it's a lot easier to qualify for that. But again, if you have questions, you can always reach out to me personally. Obviously, we're a tight-knit family and small group here. But I just want to give you the context and the base of just starting to educate you on this and started getting your wheels turning and getting educated that, you know, the rich people are on the right side of the quadrant and they're not W-2s and they're not self-employed only. They have assets and they're building investment accounts and they're not investing in cryptocurrency only. I know there's a huge craze with crypto, but I would say, I'm not saying don't do it, but I would say, you know, be careful. You know, I think there could be a huge collapse, just like 2008 with crypto, probably more in Q4 or Q3 this year. And it's going to go from 50, 60,000 of Bitcoin, could go to 10 to 20,000. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but again, it's probably will. Just like the housing market right now is all-time high for all you real estate people, and it's going to go back down. But then what must go down is going to go up, and what must go up is going to go down. It's just it's the constant secular cycle that we're all in different seasons in the real estate and the stock market and other businesses. So don't put all your money into crypto, just like you're not going to put all your money into Tesla, especially now. Maybe if you did that 3-4 years ago, that's the lucky stock, just like Apple was 10 years ago. But again, to bet your whole future on one stock, it's not what Dave Ramsey would say. I mean, Dave Ramsey actually says, you know, stay away from crypto. And I'm not saying you should, but, you know, I would rather you invest in something solid that's hands-free and that you don't have to educate yourself for hours and hours on what to buy and when to sell and what time, you know, it's just, you know, we have that opportunity for you, okay? Also, you know, when it comes to LLC and SCorp, again, it protects you from paying a lot of taxes. What I mean by that is you have different availabilities for that opportunity to pay less taxes through a CPA as opposed to just being a sole proprietor or just, you know, you're not even anything. You're just taking money from people. So hopefully that helped. I'll kind of end that here and we'll move on to the next video. But again, I want you to be financially literate. I think the key is hopefully this opens up your mind to get hungry, to become financially literate, to not be broke. And, you know, again, winning the battle of you versus you, having the entrepreneurial mindset is the key. I think and hope all of you do. And I think all of you do have the entrepreneurial mindset. But at the same time, when you've said, oh, I can't afford that, and oh, I don't know, I can't pay my $500 to get an LLC, that's when I'm going to step in and be like, no, come on. Like, seriously, stop. Okay, you know, certain things in life you need to pay for. I mean, what's the saying? You get what you get what you pay for. It's so true. You can't get an attorney on discount. Okay, you can't get a CPA on discount. You need to pay full price for that. I'm not saying pay full price for your clothes, pay full price for, you know, your house. I mean, you know, but you need to pay full price for people that are literally going to save you thousands and thousands of dollars. So don't be cheap when it comes to establishing your dream team. But I'm not saying you have to go spend a fortune either. But I'm just saying don't be cheap. Oh, I could do that online. Okay, really? If you make one mistake, it could screw you for years. And do not do what I did years ago and hire a crappy CPA that I got literally double. I had to pay double the taxes because I just allowed him to do it all and did research and got screwed in 2014. So again, I make these videos because I'm in it. I'm in the battle. My face is bloodied and dirty, but the good news is I've learned a lot and I've also had some success. So I'm here to inspire you and encourage you and educate you that we all can win together. So thanks so much for watching this. We'll go on to the next video. Hopefully you're encouraged by this financial course. And again, it's just me talking, just like we had a phone conversation. I didn't want to make this too professional. I just want to make sure that you're listening and you're understanding, and I'm here to also answer any individual questions that you might have if you want to reach out. Like I said, we're a very tight-knit family. We're small still, so you have access to me. Okay, so with that said, thanks so much for watching. Appreciate you.